Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 23-year-old Pennsylvania resident Riley Williams became obsessed with white supremacist and Donald Trump dinner guest Nick Fuentes. This was according to her acquaintances and her ex-boyfriend. They say that she considered herself to be part of his Groyper army, and she listened to his podcast every single morning. The boyfriend also said that every Fuentes podcast episode was pushing the lie that the election was stolen, and he was pushing his followers to go to D.C. on January 6th. So Williams also allegedly told her ex that she wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. So Williams planned to travel to D.C. with her father and some of her friends and his friends, and her dad said that he was going to be taking body armor, guns, and ammo, that he and his friends were going to be doing that. Her dad, throughout this whole story, is just a really bad influence on his daughter. On January 6th, Williams filmed others moving barricades. She saw people attacking the police. She even filmed someone using a piece of wood to shatter the glass of a Capitol window. And then Williams illegally entered the Capitol. This was just 2 minutes after the initial breach. She then moved to the Capitol crypt where she maneuvered her way to the front of the crowd. And then she started directing everyone else to try to help breach the police line. In fact, she repeated this over and over again. And she admitted this on Discord. In messages on January 7th, Williams wrote, quote, "We wanted to push everybody on top of each other so the police would budge. We used that tactic for the rest of the night, and it worked so well that we entered every part of the Capitol. They blocked off every single hallway, and we got through every time. I ran around to all the men I could find in gear or a helmet and pointed them in the direction and told them to get to the front. And once I found everybody, I joined them in pushing the person in front of you so hard until the police have no choice but to allow us in. They'd pepper spray, but it was no use. It'd affect some people, but we just ran further in." But I thought Tucker Carlson said they were given tours. I don't get it. Anyway, Williams continued to direct the mob. She was seen and heard on video yelling for everyone to, quote, go upstairs, keep going upstairs. Those stairs directly led to Pelosi's office, and Williams eventually followed. When she got there, there was a man who was looking at a laptop, and Williams entered and she told him, quote, "Dude, take that fucking laptop," and, quote, "Dude, put on gloves." So Williams didn't actually take the laptop herself, as was previously reported, but she did write on social media that she, quote, "stole shite from Nancy Pelosi." And then Williams stated numerous times that she stole her gavel and her hard drive, although she kept writing gravel and she kept misspelling Pelosi's name, which really explains why she was a Nick Fuentes supporter. And not only did she implicate herself and others in writing, she also was sharing videos of every single crime. So from there, Williams moved to the Capitol Rotunda. She was seen and heard there screaming and cursing at the police. She was yelling at them, "Fuck you, we'll remember your fucking face, you're a traitor." At one point, the police started to push against the mob. They were trying to move them outside. That's when Williams turned around and she started to push back against them. Against the whole police line. And she was heard yelling to others. She was directing them, push against them, lock arms. So this physical confrontation went on for 20 minutes. There were several officers who were injured in this whole melee. And in another Discord post, Williams admitted to this crime. She wrote that she, quote, "grabbed the guy in front of me and told him to push against me." So following the Capitol attack, Williams told her dad that they needed to go back to D.C. on the day of Joe Biden's inauguration because, quote, "we won't go down without a fight." She also said we need to go finish the job. And then Williams also shared very disturbing memes and images on social media. She was mocking, or the images were mocking Congress for hiding during the attack. One photo was of the gallows and the noose that was set up on the Capitol grounds. At some point, though, reality sunk in, and Williams realized, or must have realized, that, oh shit, I'm actually in trouble, because she tried to destroy evidence of all of her crimes. She deleted all of her chats. She deleted some of her social media apps entirely. She used a commercial grade software to wipe her computer 6 times. She also did a factory reset on her phone, but then she also obtained a new phone with a new number, and she chose not to transfer the data from the old phone. And then she went and she asked everybody else to delete all of their messages and their texts with her. She also contacted people who had taken videos on January 6th, and if she appeared in the video, she asked them to take it down. Williams even used an IP blocker to make it look as though she was located in Malaysia. And she even temporarily went on the run. Anyway, Williams was arrested on January 18th of 2021, and she was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, resisting or impeding officers, aiding and abetting the theft of government property, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. Rather than take a plea deal, Williams went to trial in November of 2022, and the jury found her guilty on all counts with the exception of obstructing an official proceeding and theft of government property. So she wasn't acquitted of those 2 charges, but the jury deadlocked and couldn't come to a consensus. Based on the most serious conviction, Williams was facing up to 8 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. This time, the prosecutor actually asked for almost every bit of that 8 years. The government requested 87 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $3,039 in restitution. Williams has no criminal history, but I'm going to remind you guys, this is the woman who was seen in a video with this ominous music playing. She was wearing a really creepy mask, and she was giving the Nazi salute. So she was definitely headed down a dark road. At the sentencing hearing, Williams briefly spoke. She told the judge that when she committed her crimes, she was, quote, a young and stupid girl addicted to the internet. Williams claimed, quote, I barely recognized the stupid girl who was yelling at the police. And, quote, there's no justification or excuse for my behavior. I stand before you as a responsible woman who admits she made a mistake. Williams' attorney argued for a sentence of 1 year and 1 day, and she said that Williams is being scapegoated for powerful men like Donald Trump and Nick Fuentes, people who haven't been held accountable for their election fraud lies. And she used a Voltaire quote in her video presentation, meaning the attorney. It read, quote, anyone who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Very true. U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson presided over Williams' case, and she wasn't really buying the defense attorney's attempt to paint Williams as just being this young girl. She's so petite, she couldn't have done any harm. Judge Jackson likened Williams to someone who was guiding a boat, and she said that, quote, she poured fuel on the fire. The judge gave Williams quite a bit of grief, but in the end, she sentenced Williams to 3 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. A far cry from what was requested, far lower than what I expected to, because Judge Jackson is usually pretty good in these cases. But, this was way too low. Not for someone who was convicted of 6 crimes, including 2 felonies. And I don't believe a word out of Williams' mouth. In fact, I no longer believe a word out of any of these people's mouths. And it's for one reason. Not a single one of them has sued Donald Trump. They've now been told by the Justice Department that they can sue Trump for his actions involving the Capitol attack. They've now been told he can't hide behind the First Amendment and free speech. He can't use the excuse that he was the president. This was, his actions and words were part of his duty as the president. But not one single January 6th defendant or convict has filed a lawsuit against him. So that tells me they either still believe his lies, they still think that their illegal actions were justified, or they don't have the huevos rancheros to step up and hold him accountable for destroying their life. Kind of pathetic if that's the case, if it's the latter. You know, what happened to these MAGA warriors, all this 1776 at the Capitol? Now they're all chicken shit. Now they won't go after the guy who helped to put them in prison. Anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.